very observant. They understand all the little details, just like I'm sure all of you at home do. And we're about to get started here. Nicky Rod rocking the all-gray kit. Andy Varela, what'd you call that? Burnt orange? I don't know. Shirtless. And we're about to jump into this thing. Both are great wrestlers. Nicky Rod with the obvious size advantage out there. This should be pretty fun.
And, you know, both of them have great wrestling fundamentals. Andy Varela showcased that with some big takedowns over Roberto Jimenez in the opening round of the under 77 kilogram division. And of course, Nicky Rod, we don't need to speak about his wrestling credentials. Very effective, especially in the ADCC rule set. I'm interested to see what kind of adjustments Varela will make to mitigate the size advantage of Nicky Rod.
Certainly doesn't want to spend too much time exchanging collar ties, I imagine. Probably stock from the outside, but easier said than done, of course. A lot of feinting, though, I'm sure would be the preference of Varela instead of going strength for strength for someone like Nicky Rod.
Absolutely, and for those of you tuning in with us after the finals, we're back down to 10-minute matches in the qualifying rounds. That means 10 minutes of regulation, the first half of which there will be no points in effect, and if the score is tied at the end of the 10 minutes, we'll go into a 5-minute overtime, which is entirely possible when both of these two are equally as good at defending takedowns as they are at initiating them.
Yeah, maybe the idea for Varela is to counter as well. Hard to see right now, definitely a feeling out process here. This is Varela's first match of the day. Nicky Rod's already been through an ADCC final.
If I'm not mistaken, Chase, Andy Varela looks like he's chewing gum out there while he's competing.
It's very possible. I had a teammate that would chew a toothpick. Apparently it's an old boxing thing. I couldn't tell you. I haven't boxed.
Sounds incredibly dangerous to me,
It does.
Chase.
Never heard Jeremy, though. Shout out to Jeremy.
In the corner of Nick Rodriguez is Nicky Ryan. And also his brother, J-Rod. And, you know, when you have two high-level wrestlers or two high-level jiu-jitsu athletes in their respective realms fighting each other, Chase, it really, you just see the patient approach that they both take. They're both really analyzing each other, pump faking, looking for small advantages in the tie-ups.
Certainly, as much as we can appreciate a measured approach, they have been warned by our referee here for a little bit too much passivity. There also may be the anxiety weighing on knowing that this could very well be their last match of the tournament. Who wants to leave a stage like this? Of course, you want to end it on a high note there, and so they are definitely picking their punches here, you might say. Varela so far absorbing the strength of Nicky Rod quite well, I would say. You know, he hasn't necessarily risked too much, but he's not obviously been overpowered as of yet.
I agree, and it seems like in some of these tie-up exchanges, he's the one really ripping Nicky Rod's head down. Of course, we're a minute, 35 seconds away from points coming into effect in this match, so we'll see if perhaps both of these two gentlemen are biding their time for the points to come into effect, and then we might see some real explosive takedown action. Remember, guys, we're back to 3 mats here at the ADCC World Championship, so you guys can follow along with the multi-mat technology, follow along with this absolute bracket at arena.flograppling.com. Oh, big jump from Andy Varela. You know, I was actually backstage just now before the Absolute Division started, Chase, and I saw Andy Varela warming up. That man has a vertical. He can jump very, very high.
Yeah, he's so athletic, right? You see it all the time in the clips he posts. He matches every bit of aggression that he has with some athletic ability going behind it there. Very dynamic grappler. And I think you were onto something there when you spoke about waiting for the points to kick in. I could see that becoming a crucial factor here. Just 5 seconds left until that takes place.
You know, here at ADCC, the rule set is all about enforcing, promoting action, going forward, trying things. Oh, we see some heavier collar ties out of Nicky Rod now, a right and then a left. And Andy Varela returning it over the top. Oh, they're getting more physical out there, Chase.
The intensity has ratcheted up ever so slightly here.
Oh, and the first shot of the match goes from Andy Varela, met by a sprawl. And Nicky Rod taking the match to the ground and immediately into a body lock position.
What a beast, right? You could definitely see the power from Nicky Rod coming out of that one. Now entering into what's become a staple of his game, the body lock passing system he has here. One thing to watch is really the hip mobility of Nicky Rod. He can really articulate those quite well for a bigger athlete and show us some dynamic movement here despite being literally locked to the trunk of his opponent.
That's a really good point, Chase. He used that to great effect earlier in a really big upset victory versus Felipe Pena in the semifinal of the division of 99 kilos.
Wow, Varela looked confident and scrappy on the feet. I think this is going to be a very difficult situation for him to overcome.
Oh my goodness, and there, just what you were talking about, Chase, that hip mobility while maintaining the body lock.
That makes the score 5-0 for Nicky Rod here.
Really beautiful work. Andy Varela trying to get back to his side and get that bottom knee in, but he's still in that body lock. Body lock, something Nicky Rod has instructionals on as well, and he's really showcasing his knowledge in that area here at this tournament. And Andy Varela, a competitor known for his high-flying, dynamic style, but also a very knowledgeable leg locker. We'll see if he resorts to that and trying to create some openings in that area as this match comes to 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. He might have to pull out all the stops here to stay alive in this absolute bracket.
A little bit of a sly grin there on the face of Varela. He's having a good time despite being maybe down. Why not? Soak it in out there. This is one of a lifetime experience, or at least maybe this is the first of many. Who knows? But in any case, Varela is in just a bit of trouble here. Nicky Rod going back to the well, back to the body lock passing, and looking like a lot to handle, let's say.
Yeah, absolutely. I think every single competitor here can hang their hat on. They were a part of the biggest jiu-jitsu event in history, and there's another pass for Nicky Rod. And having 10,000 people in attendance here, 10,000 plus people in attendance here at the Thomas and Mack Arena in Vegas for every one of these athletes. It's got to be an amazing, amazing feeling. And Nicky Rod putting on a passing clinic in the first round of the Absolute. Now into mount, looking for the arm bar. 11-0, Chase. My goodness.
Nicky Rod just flowing through the positions now. 14-0 with 1:15 left on the clock. Looking to collect an arm here, Varela. Maybe thinking head and arm choke.
And Varela's been having to carry the weight of Nicky Rod this entire match. Now the arms are, you know, Nicky Rod is able to lift the arms of Andy Varela just a little bit easier now in the later stages of the match. It's got to be very tiring carrying the weight of a big, strong, athletic grappler like Nicky Rod. Here we go. Andy Varela finding a little bit of space here with 35 seconds left.
The tenacity of Nicky Rod fighting for that body lock. He knows exactly where he wants to be on top, crushes the space. And you can see Varela really taking a just defensive posture here, framing away where he can. More or less doomed to his fate at this point.
You know, it's been a tough road. He held his own on the feet, and Andy Varela is such an exciting competitor. We're going to see him back very soon. He's always game. But today, in the first round of the Absolute Division, he met a very determined and very powerful Nick Rodriguez. 17-0 victory, and he'll move on to the next round of the Absolute.